out with Eric Blair Show. We're here tonight at the Beverly Cinema for a special screening of the iconic 80s film Valley Girl, and I'm here with one of the stars, Heidi Holliker. Well, Heidi, how did this event in particular come together?
The theater called me and said we were going to screen the film again, and would I do the Q&A, and would I pull together all the Q&A, all the talent. So I pulled together 17 of the talent just by phone calls and favors, and that's how we have now 17 people, including the musicians, doing this. So it's pretty cool.
The re-release on Blu-ray, there's been another life for the movie Valley Girl. What has this ride been like for you?
The ride's never ended. It's always fun. It's just a joy.
Recently, they've done a Valley Girl remake.
Really tough to remake an original of any property, and the remake hasn't come out. A bunch of us did cameos, but it hasn't come out. I don't know when it will come out. But I had a lot of fun. MGM was great to us, so we had a good time.
When you say they were great to you,
they stayed in touch with me, and they let me choose my wardrobe and actually have a trailer, and so different things from actually making our movie. But they were really cool people.
What was your part in the film?
I play Mrs. H, so I play a school teacher, and it's just such a quick little part. It's not a big deal. I just have a thing for the principal, so I keep looking at him off the side and keep saying things like yummy and wow.
What is it about Valley Girl that has stood the test of time?
It is the traditional love story. It's the Romeo and Juliet love story. It's the being with the wrong guy who you love, no matter what your friends think, and we all go through that. And it's the music, and it's the relationships of the girls. They are very competitive with each other. They love each other, but it's exactly the way my life was in high school. Exactly. And I grew up in the Valley, so for me, it's very personal.
But Stacy didn't want to go out with Cameron Diaz's character. She kind of fought him.
She did. That's the subtext. She really did. She was so into him, but she wasn't going to let anyone know, so.
I think that taught us a lot in high school about some girls pretend they don't like you, but really they do.
That's exactly right. And some guys like you, and you have no idea until 30 years later, so.
I know. That's a great loss, I think.
Yeah.
And tell me, how did you originally get cast in the film?
Oh, I was cast in a different role. I was cast as the girl who hooks up with Nick Cage in the club scene, and it was a really sexy role, so I went in just, sexed it up and did my thing, and got that role, which was great. And then the actress who got the role of Stacy, her agent, from what I heard, her agent wouldn't commit, so they brought me back in to read for Stacy, and I got that 2 hours later.
When you compare the world we're living in today to the world of Valley Girl, what do you think is lacking?
Everything.
And there was a certain innocence and freedom that I felt that the movie expresses about the time that it was made, and I have a feeling we're never going to be able to recapture that.
It was a time period. It was a moment in time, just like any other era, any other decade. There were no cell phones. It was actually, you just went to your friend's house every day after school, and you wanted their boyfriend, and they wanted something else. It's a traditional story about best friends and what they go through, and liking boys a lot.
What do you remember about filming at the Central on Sunset Boulevard with the Plimsolls playing?
Well, my recollection is that the awesome Plimsolls, and two of them are here tonight. I put this together, so I have the bass player and the drummer, and I remember it was really gross, really dirty. Everything in the movie is exactly what it looked like, and we were all getting dressed on the dirt floor together. And so I kept thinking, well, why are we doing this? But that was what it was. So, and then when we went in to see the scene, to be in the scene in that case, it was great. It was fun.
You know what's funny about that scene is that if you look at the wall, you see who's going to be playing the list. Katie Seagal's name is on there
because she did sing. I mean, she was a neighbor of mine, so she did play that club. Well, everyone played that club. So
yeah, my band played that club.
Yeah, everyone did. So yeah, every scene has a story in this film, and we had short ends so that we would go to shoot a scene, and we'd only have a short end of film, so we could only do one take, and better be good. and that's how we made the movie.
And the soundtrack for Valley Girl, those songs never die.
I brought in tonight Josie Cotton and David Pahoa from the Plimsolls and Lou Ramirez from the Plimsolls, and Prescott Niles is coming from Josie Cotton, and he's touring right now with Missing Persons, and Gary Myring, She Talks in Stereo. The music composers are here tonight, and I just incorporated everybody.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for keeping the dream alive. Now, Camille, did you do makeup on this Valley Girl movie or the new one?
No, I did not do makeup. I was actually in the Valley Girl movie.
What? You don't look old enough to be in the Valley Girl movie.
I am. No, I only had 3 lines in the movie. However, I went on to do makeup, and I've done makeup on Michael Bowen. I've done makeup on everybody. And so later on, I was never an actress, but I had 3 lines in the damn movie. So, I went on to do makeup on all these guys.
What was your 3 lines?
Who are you? Both of the clown.
Oh my gosh, that's you?
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow, you have aged very well.
Thank you very much.
Why is Valley Girl such an iconic film?
You know what? I was fresh off the boat from New Jersey when I got here, and I heard all these girls talking like this. I worked at a nightclub, and I didn't even know what it was. And then that song came out, and then that came out, and I was like, oh, that's what they said. I was like, that's what they're talking about. So I went in on an interview, and it was like, and I think it was so iconic because, well, Nick Cage's first film, of course, but it was just such a great, everyone can relate to it. Even today, everyone can relate to it. So it's just really, really fun.
At the Beverly Cinema in beautiful Beverly Hills, California, for a special screening of the film Valley Girl with photographer extraordinaire Diane Carter.
Hello, Eric. What a thrill to see this on the big screen. I grew up in the Valley.
How did the movie Valley Girl change your life?
Well, it just reminded me of my youth, because when it came out, I was the same. I was in high school when it came out, and I grew up in the Valley, and I had moved to Orange County, but all my friends that stayed back in Calabasas were definitely Valley Girls. So I loved it because I knew about the seedy Hollywood side too, because I really loved going into seedy Hollywood of the 80s and those dirty nightclubs. And I'm really happy that I got to see both sides of the hill.
At the Beverly Cinema in beautiful Beverly Hills, California, with Prescott Niles, we are celebrating Valley Girl, the movie tonight.
Who knew?
Now, Prescott, what do you think is so iconic about the movie Valley Girl?
Well, for me personally, I was with the Knack a lot of years, and we had broken up for a time, and I got hooked up with Josie Cotton, and she was on a roll, and we got this opportunity to do this odd independent film nobody even knew about except Colleen Camp we knew about. And we did this movie, and then again, all these years later, and every decade since then, there's been a whole bunch of young people and even the older people. There'll probably be a cross-section tonight. It's got a charm and innocence to it. The music was fantastic, and it just worked. It captured a time, and I thank Tidy for teaching everybody to speak like a Valley person, which is infecting the politicians in some respect.
What do you remember about shooting that famous fight scene?
Oh, that was great. Well, the shot, I was telling Heidi, the shot earlier was very spontaneous. I mean, I didn't quite know the fight. I saw him rehearse it, but it would be right next to me. So when I looked over with JB, was the blonde cat, looked over, and it was an actual response. Nobody told me what to do, and it was just like, what the hell's going on? But that red jacket I wore, that red leather jacket, I think Michael Jackson stole the idea from me, actually. But it was fun. Nicholas was fantastic. All the actors were new. Nobody had an attitude. Everybody was really into it because it was just a low-key picture. But the camaraderie was great, and it was wonderful working and shooting with Josie as well on stage and being in the movie.
What do you think? What is the magic of Josie Cotton?
Well, Josie looked like Elizabeth Taylor back in the day, and she sang like Wanda Jackson. And her eyes are quite gorgeous, but Wanda Jackson was a great country singer.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a mix of what she was doing, even though we were doing pop and new wave kind of stuff. And she really had a great opportunity. Unfortunately, there were some bad management decisions, and there you go. That's life, I guess.
That's rock and roll, man.
God knows the Knack went through that.
Legendary moment in rock and roll history was the Knack. I mean, those were simpler times.
Well, I hate to make a statement. I think social media has a purpose. I mean, you can't stop progress. but I think the connections we had, whether in bookstores, record stores, word of mouth, people were going out and talking to each other, and I think I missed some of that, more of that intimacy and personal relationships, as opposed to, you know, hey, check me out online, or here's what I'm eating for breakfast, rather than going to breakfast with that person and taking a picture. So I don't know, I think we kind of tend to glorify the past in some respects. I mean, I caught some of the bands in the late 60s, you know, the Doors and the Who, and that was a great time, but I think that time period was unique, and I think there was an innocence to a degree, even though, you know, whatever innocence is to whoever it is. But I love the fact that it was an easy time, and the movie reflected, I think, that type of pop culture and freedom that people were going through in high school, and it was a great moment, I think.
Well, what do you love about Dale Bozio? You're touring with her.
Yeah, I've been working with Dale the last 4 years. Dale's great. I mean, Dale again had a run with Missing Persons, and I love the songs. I mean, to me, pop songs, Josie had great pop songs. Dale has more pop with electronic edge. I think the songs stand the test of time.
Yep.
That's what's wonderful. A lot of the bands we're playing with, like Berlin and Wang Chung and Flock of Seagulls, people really react to it, and these 80s revival shows have really been wonderful, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
What did you learn about yourself as a person during your time in the NAC?
That I am a person, and my career didn't define me. I was kind of defined before it. And cut to years later, having 3 children who have their own band called Gateway Drugs. Nice. And they're doing their second album, actually. It gave me purpose in life. I didn't rely on my own appreciation of my hits or non-hits or, you know, experiments in music, but it gave me a solid nature so I can have a career and accept the good and the bad in it, you know?
Actress Lee Purcell from Valley Girl, and we're here at a special screening of Valley Girl, and you're going to be questioned tonight by some of the audience.
We're going to be grilled.
Grilled?
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. Come on down. You can watch the blood.
Now, Lee, tell me about the audition process.
I had no audition process. The film was financed on my name. It's 36 years ago, so I don't know the exact steps. That's just what the director told me, Martha Coolidge.
Well, your big break was Steve McQueen handpicked you for a film, correct?
Yes, he was my mentor, Steve McQueen. Not today's director, but Steve McQueen, the movie star.
I mean, how did you get into character for the part of the... I hope this doesn't offend you, but you were kind of a MILF character?
That's exactly what I was. But I was a stepmom. So it's a MILF. How do you say that? Step MILF?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's 36 years ago. I have no memory of that. So I just played it.
Have you watched the film in years?
I hate watching my own work, and I will avoid it at all costs. I have a new film out right now, and they had to drag me into the premiere. Not physically, but like convince me nicely. And I was... It just upsets me to see my own work. So no, I've seen Valley Girl maybe once. I'm not sure. It was a good movie, I remember.
Why do you think that the movie Valley Girl has stood the test of time?
That is a really good question. It was a cultural movement, kind of, at the time. A lot of really adorable young people in it, and a lot of great music and songs, and it built upon the whole Valley Girl kind of syndrome of the time. So a lot of people who were kids then really still love the movie, and they see it all the time. And I think that's what it is. It struck a cultural nerve. Game of Thrones is my escape, and it's ending tomorrow night. Oh no.
Did you get a chance to be in the show at all?
No, it was my dream, and I did not.
Yeah, that show has become like a zeitgeist of...
Oh, it totally is a zeitgeist. It's totally a zeitgeist. And there's a prequel, and I've read the prequel. I read all the books, because I'm a fanatic, a big fan. Read all the books, and now there's a prequel, and I've read that book too.
Why do you think that's captured the imagination of humanity at this moment in time?
I guess it's a fantasy. It's a huge fantasy about a world that never existed. But it's similar to kind of the medieval times, but it went way beyond that. I think it's a fantasy. I think that's why.
Who did you bond the most with in the cast of Valley Girl?
Some of us were already friends. It was kind of like, my dad has a barn, let's make a movie. I mean, we shot in everybody's houses, we wore our own clothes. The movie was made for practically nothing, so I mean, I was friends with Colleen, and Colleen was friends with Ava, and it just kind of went like that.
She's the prettiest ever, isn't she? The prettiest ever.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
This is Heidi. This is Heidi.
A lovely person.
You guys definitely bonded.
Photo bomb. Yes.
Not then. Now.
No, not then. Now.
Over the last 2 years.
Yeah, we became good friends in the last couple of years. We knew each other, but we became good friends the last.
We love each other.
What
2
led
years.
to the reconnect?
We did the Hollywood show.
Yeah.
And she was really cool to invite me into it, and then I helped her get talent, and we just love each other.
We bonded. The screening was happening, and then she got a call from Brian, who runs the theater as a screening, and she just put everybody and everything together. She is amazing.
The Beastie Boys said that this was one of their favorite movies of all time.
Wow, look at all these great bands. Look at all that. I mean,
I
the
know.
music was amazing.
I know. The Psychedelic Furs, Men at Work, Josie Cotton.
And I have the original vinyl.
That's worth a pretty penny.
I don't know. It's not going anywhere, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's locked up. You can't get at it.
I'll let people know where they can see you next.
New movie coming out called Carol of the Bells. It's a really interesting movie. Very different. It's a groundbreaking movie. I'm not going to tell you why. And people can follow me on social media. I'm pretty much everywhere. LeePurcell.com is my website.
Chris Murphy, and he plays Ralphie in the movie. He is friends with Michael Bowen's character.
That's right, Tommy. The film really holds up. You know, I mean, this is the first time I've seen it in 30 years. People laugh at the exact same time they did in 1983. It's amazing. I mean, when somebody was announcing in the beginning of the film and they talked about how it held up, you always hear that. And I was kind of like, because I hadn't seen it in a long time. This audience laughed every single time that we did in 1983. It's incredible. I mean, 36 years.
Yeah, no.
And it holds up. I mean, it really holds up.
Beastie Boys said this was their favorite film of all time.
Yeah, and the music. You know, I was with my daughter, Grace, and we were eating dinner tonight, and there was a modern English song, one of the songs, and I said, this is a song in Valley Girl. And we'll be driving in the car to school every day. There's a song from this soundtrack. Michael Blairing.
And then
Hey, Mike.
Scotland.
Why Valley Girl has stood the test of time.
It's real, but it's got heart. You know, it could have been characterized, could have been forgotten, but because it's got reality and heart, you're involved with them. You know, it's a great time capsule.
That's it, time capsule. That's there's an innocence in this film that you don't find in films today.
No, it's Martha, man.
What did you think Martha Coolidge brought to the production and the directing?
Creativity and relaxation, and we all felt like we were involved in something together.
Every day, all day long. Completely
You know?
relaxed.
was
She talks
beautiful.
about how little film she had, how little money they had. It was relaxed every day.
Yeah, and then you have that magic forever.
And it gave us hope that we could beat the bad guys in life.
Yeah, well, the bad guy got beat.
What do you remember about that scene? What stands out?
just Nick and I were working it out, you know. I did some karate so I could make it look like cheesy. It was just fun. We were inventing on the day.
And I'm here with the queen herself, E.G. Daly. How many times have you seen the film already as it is?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I've seen it a lot of times. But the funny thing is, every time I see it, it's great. Every time I see it, I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is a great movie.
What is it like to have Valley Girl be part of your huge legacy?
I feel really lucky to have been in a lot of really cool culty movies. So Valley Girl to me is one of the best movies I could have ever been in. And you know, and then I've done some others, but they're just like, it's like pretty incredible to be in a movie that lasts this long. That's this, you know, iconic.
How you got into character for Lauren?
I think that Lauren was the kind of girl that just wanted to be loved and wanted to feel pretty and wanted to feel cherished, and her way was through sexuality. And then really what it was it wasn't really what she wanted. She just wanted to feel like somebody liked her. Even though she's a kind of fun character that was fun and out there, I think Lauren was a lot deeper than you actually see.
How would you characterize the situation between Lauren and Tommy?
I think it's a really common situation where you catch people in a vulnerable state, and he was vulnerable, and Lauren again just wants to feel accepted, and I think it's just catching two vulnerable souls in a moment. So it's a really common thing, and you know, And yeah, years later you kind of process it going like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, it can be a little damaging.
Yeah, it's very damaging. Yeah, my character, I mean, doing it felt very vulnerable, that scene. It felt very vulnerable, and for Lauren it was super vulnerable.
Tell me about your voiceover work.
It's been great. It's been amazing. It's just an extension of, acting and the voice and singing. It's a voiceover is like takes it all and puts it into a ball of, acting, singing, music, the voice. It's all just wraps it up.
Tell me what it's like working with Rob Zombie as a director.
He's amazing. He's really like down to earth guy. And he just has a great sense of humor, but he's very kind of chill, and he really lets you play. So, and he's very into wardrobe, which is my thing. Like, I like wardrobe. To me, really transforms your character. Going into a character and changing your looks and your body with your wardrobe, to me, takes you there. And he's all about that. He's very detailed about everything. So I love him.
Why do you think the movie Valley Girl has stood the test of time?
Valley Girl is amazing for so many reasons. It has an incredible love story that's charming. It has human characters. It has the conflict of two different kinds of worlds. It has incredible soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks of all time. And it was so incredibly directed by Martha Coolidge. And the casting it's like it has everything you would want in a film.
Well, you did one song for The Breakfast Club. What do you remember about going in the studio and recording that song?
That was another part of my career. I was doing music at the same time I was doing movies, at the same time I was working with my voice. It was just like they were all going at the same time. So for me, it was just another thing that I got to do that I loved, which was singing and writing songs for film, and I still do it. And it was just, Breakfast Club was another classic movie, or the Thief of Hearts soundtracks, or some of those movies that were working with Georgia Moroder back then. It was just another extension of my art. I mean, all of it is just all about the voice, and it's all about creativity.
I have to ask you, so what was it like? I want to. I want to know what it was like working with Giorgio Moroder.
Well, he was legend. He's a legendary dude. So at the time I was only like 15 and 16. I think I had just got my driver's license, and I would drive up to the studio and I just record. To me at the time, I was just excited to be recording every day. I was recording a lot with him. I did a lot of sessions with that guy. And then I worked with Keith Forsey, that worked with Billy Idol, and I worked with Harold Faltermeyer, later did Thief of Hearts with Harold Faltermeyer, and then did a solo album. My first solo album, Wild Child, I did half of it with Harold Faltermeyer. So that was another incredible piece of time.
Jelly Bean. You worked with Jelly Bean?
Yeah, Jelly Bean was Say It, Say It. Yeah, I worked with him in New York.
And Stephen Bray?
Yeah, Stephen Bray. Good job. Yeah, let's go.
The Madonna people.
Yeah.
What have you taken away from that?
It's hard to say like taken away. It's more like I've dropped into a lot of different incredible experiences with incredible artists. So I sort of feel like I just keep dropping into these amazing artistic pieces, and at the moment I don't think I'm taking anything away other than I'm so happy to be doing art. So I don't really feel like today when I look back at it, I'm like, oh wow, I did Saturday Night Live. Wow, I worked with Dick Clark, and to me it's just like I get to look at it as I got to drop into some really cool places. Yeah.
E.G. Daily.
Nice to see you again.
God bless you.
Thanks.
Martha, tell me about how it came together that you directed this legendary, iconic film, Valley Girl.
Well, it's hard to say. I was working to try and get a movie going. And Andy and I had become friends. I don't even remember. I mean, we just became friends. And he took me out to dinner, he and his partner, and offered me, well, they were first telling me they were going to make a movie. And I thought, oh, good for them. I'm so glad, but I wish I were. And then they said, no, we want you to look at the script because it's about girls. And we don't really understand girls, and we'd like you to look at it. And so I just went home praying that it was good, and it was. And I started, and we had very little time. So we put it together very fast, had very little money, And but somehow, and that's what's amazing to watch, we got it together in a very quick time with incredibly great people, and we even had disasters that ended up for the better. So it was really, really good. And the one thing I did get to do was rehearse. In our own time, we did it, and that helped because I only did one take basically per shot, sometimes maybe 3 if there were problems, but it wasn't like I had a lot of film.
And what do you think it was about you that made all of these people want to follow you and follow your vision?
It was me coming on that brought a lot of people in, but I had been working at Zoetrope for a while, and that got around a little bit, so people knew about that, but I don't think that was it. What I said, and the script was really great. They did a good job. It's hard to say. I can't say, but I knew the movie. I knew what it should be, and I knew what it could be. And when a person hit me right, that they were right for the movie, and I was convincing.
Why do you think that the movie has stood the test of time?
Well, it had a very good timing, a very good sense of space and place. And to me, it's very important that it have its place, and it has to be specific and honest. And that, I think, of all things, is the most important. I also saw the world in a very diverse, integrated way, more so than the movie, and I kind of felt bad. But then I've had a lot of people talk to me about how they see the integration in the picture, and that's great that they do. Because to me, I went to the Valley, and there's black girls and Spanish girls and white girls all saying I'm a Valley girl, and that to me said everything.
What do you think the overall message of Valley Girl is, or what would you like people to take away from it?
Well, in the end, the real pressure is to avoid total conformity and find your own heart. And that's really what it is. It's about finding your way and who you are, and then that takes you your way, and that will lead you to follow your bliss or, happiness. But it is that I do believe in young love. I do believe in love. And so it is the story of that. But that tells the story of the time, the place, the specifics of what one group hates about another. I mean, it's Romeo and Juliet was what it was based on. And it is about that.
Without anybody dying, thank God.
Yes, without anybody dying.
That was the beauty of the film, that you could leave, you could watch the movie, walk away, and you had this great hope and encouragement at the end.
Good. That's good. And it is that. I think look, we're all here. We're the survivors. We're still here. We've gone through lots of things in the world, and we can go through the rest, but you have to get on the right side of it.
The Blairing Out Show.